One of the misconceptions people have is that if they're around wildlife and they don't go running away from them, kind of what they expect them to do, then that must not be an impact on them. And actually, sometimes just our presence around wildlife can cause an energetic expense for wildlife. And so we need to reframe our presence around them to give them the space. The Wintering Wildlife Conservation Initiative is the epitome of a grassroots effort spurred on by a couple of people sitting around talking about what are we missing as wildlife recreators and how do we share this message about the importance of where we recreate in the winter and the importance of protecting wildlife in the winter. The biggest challenge that wildlife face in the winter is getting through winter. They only have so much energy and food availability in the winter. Their food is very limited based on the growing season, based on their access. And so they need to survive, and so the least amount of wasted energy to survive is what they're striving for. And so their biggest challenge is just making it to green up and being able to take advantage of everything blooming and food availability in the spring. Some of the adaptations that wildlife have to get through the winter is one, they drop antlers. So the male animals that have antlers, those are big and heavy and take a lot of energy for them, so they drop those in the winter. And then another adaptation is they move to areas that food is more available, and sometimes those are lower elevations where there's less snow, and that puts us in the same spot that wildlife like to be in the winter. And frankly, where wildlife need to be to get through the winter are those areas that are not covered in snow. And so our decisions about where we recreate are something we have control over and we can do to help wildlife.
In backcountry skiing, and as well as with the new snowmobiles, a lot of people could go a lot further, a lot faster without the education and training of like when I started skiing on wood skis. They could get back a lot further. And I noticed as a wildlife officer that some of those impacts were impacting wintering wildlife. We've seen negative effects with wintering wildlife in the sense that we can displace wildlife down onto private lands, on the railroad and the highway, and we can have extra losses due to negative impacts from recreation. Be aware of your surroundings. Moose can cause a lot of damage to a human, and humans can cause a lot of damage to wildlife if they're not careful. And if you see tracks, fresh tracks, turn back. Dogs chasing wildlife is against the law. I've had a lot of very good comments from people that were really not aware of wildlife-human conflicts. And I think we're making a difference, and I just hope it continues.
Being out in an environment like this is critical to the Colorado experience, and recreating responsibly, whether it be respecting avalanche danger, respecting wildlife closures, is an important part of the recreation experience in Colorado. If you're heading out from the trailhead and you're out on your backcountry ski expedition and you come across some tracks, turn back.
Even I hadn't truly considered the impacts that outdoor recreation can have on wintering wildlife. And it's not just in beautiful places like this in Park County, but it's also on the Front Range or places that don't see a lot of snow like we're seeing today. It was a realization to me that getting out and doing those kind of things that we all love to do because we're Coloradans. The Colorado Lottery gives back to the outdoors to the tune of $196 million last fiscal year through our proceeds beneficiaries, Great Outdoors Colorado, Colorado Parks and Wildlife, and the Conservation Trust Fund. I would like to thank the players of the Colorado Lottery for generating proceeds that protect Colorado's wildlife.
My advice for outdoor enthusiasts is, one, go to our website and read it and look at the different tools and information that we have available. I know that most people are out in the outdoors and don't want to make decisions that impact wildlife negatively. And so if we can share those messages and help them make choices and they help us protect wildlife, that's great.
The Colorado Lottery invests millions of dollars every year in parks, trails, and open spaces. Learn more about how the Colorado Lottery invests in parks at coloradolottery.com/givingback.